There are really moments where I want certain things to come across. You know, there's specific landscape at some points that I'm showing. They're not random. Those are places that I've been to film. I brought a vibe back. I brought more information of a culture that I spent time within. We're trying to have a dynamic and an understanding of length, so that the danger when you improvise is to just not know when to come back. And something that really was interesting for me when I was in Morocco, and I know Graham has been witnessing similar moments. I was invited into various ceremonies, Gnawa ceremonies, where the community invites Gnawi musicians. Those experiences have been life-changing because it was just stunning to see how the musicians were driving the energy of the person in the circle dancing to get to that state where they would actually leave their body and reach a different state of awareness, and how the musicians are guiding the person who went to get back. This is amazing. To me, this is improvisation. This is what I'm trying to emulate. This is that space that I'm trying to reach, because we're dancing because we want to be free, freer, whatever freedom means.
It's interesting when you listen and you also perform at the same time, because everybody's roles change. So even I'm not speaking from as a dancer, but as a musician and a collaborator with those of us that are dancing. There's different degrees of improvisation all the time, and the parameters change. With different kinds of art forms. So you may start out with an idea and it has a structure, but then the structure, if it feels like the structure should shift, then you go with it. But if there's no structure, then you won't notice what is kind of open and free sounding, not necessarily really free, but like the contrast between what sounds free and what isn't free. And that's the beautiful thing about, working in this situation with me and, with all my friends and, incredible, talented people, because, there's such a sophisticated level of improvising and hearing and thinking about what's coming next and what was referred to before. And it's almost like thinking in the past, future, and present at the same time. So, you have references, but then you also have some things you're going to reference later, and then you're still in the moment too. And that's the fun part of it. That's what's great about it. And also with the different genres of music, there are different codes and different rules. So it's fun to kind of play with the different environments that the other genres of music offer. So when everything comes from the essence of jazz, or what people call jazz, that right there is the ultimate in freedom and also responsibility in terms of how to let those two things relate or not relate, So it's a great challenge for all of us.
I like to refer to choreography as a frame. And, the better the frame, the better the picture inside is going to come out. A bad frame can hurt a picture in the middle of the frame. But in the end, it's the essence contained in the photo, in the painting, that is the point. Because, the photo can exist without the frame in the end. So to me, it's a challenge, because I've always been ethically disturbed by, okay, well, if I start choreographing, am I not a hoofer anymore? Because I'm a hoofer at heart. I mean, this is not something you do. It's a lifestyle. You embrace. It's a form of integrity. It's a form of thinking the world and relating to others. That was passed on to me directly by the original hoofers themselves, 4 of them. And but I wasn't born in Harlem in the late 30s. I was born in a complete different place, and I bring with me a different aesthetic. So I've always been struggling between those two worlds, and they are divided on stage, as you see. And the challenge is to go freely from one to the other, so one complements the other, and there is no hierarchy.
As a tap dancer, you need to be grounded in jazz. That's the foundation. So, as you continue to, grab onto what's new and whatever speaks to you, you should ground yourself in jazz, because that's the foundation of it all. And a lot of times, people get stuck in maybe one particular style of jazz and think that, well, this is only where tap is supposed to be and blah blah blah. Like she said, music is music, but I'm a strong advocate. You must. It's like ABCs. It's like ABCs. You can't construct a word or a sentence if you don't have that first. So, uh, keep your ears open and always be willing to grow and learn. And if your heart is open, your ears are open, you'll be able to move wherever you want to go. You'll be able to express whatever it is you need to say, whether it's through your feet, whatever it is, if you decide to pick up an instrument or not, however that goes. But that's what I would say.
And what I found, what Roxanne had said earlier, is that live music, live dance, live. It's not live if it's on a CD. I mean, it might have been captured, it might be great, but it's rare to see live musicians. It really is, especially a quality musicians. And that's the only way that art's going to continue to grow, by seeing live musicians and dancers. And although you might be interested in tap dancing, there's other forms of percussive dancing as well, like Raul's flamenco, like Mexican dancing. And it's interesting to see the difference in the shoes that they wear, and why the shoes are different, and how the shoes function inside of a musical context, why the shoes are constructed a certain way. So, but getting back to the live element, it's really important to see live musicians and draw inspiration. And maybe you'll take a tangent. Maybe you'll be interested in something else, and then you'll relate it back to tap, and then you'll go back to tap, and then you'll have more information.
I think that I could accurately say that flamenco in the last 30 years evolved because of a particular, maybe couple of musicians who were listening to music outside of what they're used to listening to. The flamencos, they've always listened to Afro-American music and were inspired by it.
Que para mí esta experiencia ha sido muy importante porque me he dado cuenta de muchas cosas. De que, por ejemplo, en mi arte en el flamenco,
He's saying that this project is very interesting for him because in tap, we don't really use posing. We really are assuming the role of almost every single instrument, because actually, jazz came out of tap, but flamenco dance came out of the music. So we have a tendency to just like be all over the place. So and it's actually good for me because I'm learning a lot from watching his approach of silence, which is music too. So for him, he's found a different form of freedom, and which is affecting his move, because the music he's been absorbing, dancing along with us, has been motivating him to move even more and to let go even more. So that's I think this project is so interesting because I am really influenced by what I've been hearing him do since we started working together. And I know I'm doing rhythm I would not have done unless I'd been exposed repeatedly to hearing his rhythm. And the same thing is happening to him.
The hardest thing for me is the mental energy that it takes when you improvise. I mean, the choreography, the written parts, and all that's one thing. But improvisation takes a lot of mental and physical and spiritual energy. So, for me, the important thing is to take time doing nothing. Then when you come back to this, you're kind of fresh. It's the only way you can do this every day. And have it be fresh. You can do it every day and be like a robot. And then I play like a robot, to be like stale after a couple of days, but you have to take time.
I mean, besides of what everyone has said already, for me personally, it's also, because we don't always have the time to rest enough, or, there's always a time where you just run and you run and run and run, but once you get on stage and you feel all of these energies together, that's what gives me, if the energy is right, then it gives me the fuel and the extra kick, and no matter how tired I am, it'll always get me over another hump and another hump.
Just to make the shirt sound. Well, this is the last comment of the evening. We're just all lucky that we're working together and we're really inspiring each other. And that's what's giving us energy, is just being inspired by each other.